Hello, everyone. You're listening to the 805 Uncensored. We are a show on the Anti Capitalist Podcast Network. This podcast covers a variety of topics from music to politics, news, philosophy, and more. There are no limits, which is why we call ourselves Uncensored. So, welcome. Please follow us on our podcast and social media platforms of choice. This is episode number 105, I want to say. And joined with us is Stef is Dope. So, Stef, would you like to just give a brief intro about yourself?
Yes, thank you so much for having me today. I'm super excited to be here and discuss some of these things with like-minded individuals. I am a Maryland native. I grew up in the Maryland, DC area basically all my life. I guess I'm what you would call a radical leftist, which basically means I just care about other people. Um, and I'm the co-founder of a group called Freedom Fighters DC. We originated in 2020 at the height of the George Floyd protests. And I was basically baptized into organizing and activism from there. We ran a very successful mutual aid network. In DC, we worked with World Kitchen, who helped us provide hot meals for the city. And I've pretty much been on the activism scene and been very vocal about everything ever since. So again, thank you so much for inviting me here today.
Yeah, I know you're super busy and have a lot going on, so it means a lot that you took time to come on the show.
Who doesn't these days? It is all good.
So I'll just go over a quick little agenda of things that we're going to talk about, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes of the episode. So we're going to be discussing the new normal in the US, the Gestapo, which is ICE, state-sponsored terrorism, militarization of the police, and normalization of the surveillance state. Reasons for this: ICE, local and state police, the connection with the IDF, solutions, because that's of course important. We don't want to just talk about the problems. What can people do individually, collectively, etc.? And lastly, lessons from around the world. Indonesia, Nepal, France, a number of states, individual citizens have taken action against the government. And I'd like to talk about why that's happening and why that's significant. So, first things first, I'm going to review Umberto Eco's 14 Points of Fascism. Eco was an Italian philosopher and writer. I think he died back in the mid 90s, but he's extremely influential in the field of fascism. Number one is the cult of tradition. One only has to look at the syllabus of every fascist movement to find the major traditionalist thinkers. The Nazi gnosis was nourished by traditionalist, syncretic, occult elements. Synchronistic. Number two is the rejection of modernism. The Enlightenment, the Age of Reason, is seen as the beginning of modern depravity. In this sense, your fascism can be defined as irrationalism. Number three is the cult of action for action's sake. Action being beautiful in itself, it must be taken before or without any previous reflection. Thinking is a form of emasculation. Number four is disagreement is treason. The critical spirit makes distinctions, and to distinguish is a sign of modernism. In modern culture, the scientific community praises disagreement as a way to improve knowledge. Number five is fear of difference. The first appeal of a fascist or prematurely fascist movement is an appeal against the intruders, thus, your fascism is racist by definition. Number six, appeal to social frustration. One of the most typical features of the historical fascism was the appeal to a frustrated middle class, a class suffering from an economic crisis or feelings of political humiliation and frightened by the pressure of lower social groups. Number seven is the obsession with a plot. Thus, at the root of your fascist psychology, there is the obsession with a plot, possibly an international one. The followers must feel besieged. Number eight, the enemy is both strong and weak. By a continuous shifting of rhetorical focus, the enemies are at the same time too strong and too weak. Number nine is pacifism is trafficking with the enemy. For your fascism, there is no struggle for life, but rather life is lived for struggle. Number 10 is contempt for the weak. Elitism is a typical aspect of any reactionary ideology. Number 11, everybody is educated to become a hero. In your fascist ideology, heroism is the norm. The cult of heroism is strictly linked with the cult of death. Number 12 is machismo and weaponry. Machismo implies both disdain for women and intolerance and condemnation of non-standard sexual habits from chastity to homosexuality. Number 13 is selective populism. There is in our future a TV or internet populism in which the emotional response of a selected group of citizens can be presented and accepted as the voice of the people. Number 14 is your fascism speaks newspeak. All the Nazi or fascist schoolbooks made use of an impoverished vocabulary and an elementary syntax in order to limit the instruments for complex and critical reasoning. And that is all 14 of Umberto Eco's points on fascism. Can check every single box, really.
Yeah, seriously. This was actually my first opportunity to read through all 14 of them. I had heard of these, but not actually read through all of them until I was preparing for this. And for every single one of these 14 examples, there is a modern day, and by modern day, like literally within the past at least month or 2 month example of that, like right now.
Yeah. Like, which of them really stood out to you? Because there's a few of them for me that jumped off the page.
Yes. So, and I mean, there's a lot of hypocrisy in these as well. Just take the first two, for instance, like the cult of tradition, and the rejection of modernism. They're constantly trying to push us forward, but off of the value system of a very antiquated, outdated, racist perpetuation of ideology. So those two, honestly, like the first two really kind of jumped out at me. And then disagreement and treason, number 4 is a big one right now.
Yeah.
I mean, take the Epstein files, for example. You know, President of the United States of America basically ran his campaign on the release of the Epstein files and then turned on his own supporters for actually wanting him to do what he promised he was going to do. So the disagreement is treason is huge.
Yeah, and you even see disagreement within individual fascists surrounding the Epstein case alone. So, like, notably, Marjorie Taylor Greene comes to mind.
Yes.
It's like, what the fuck is going on?
What the fuck is going on? Like, I have seen
a trip.
It's been insanity. Like, am I agreeing?
Yeah.
Like, is that what's happening here? Am I watching videos of Tucker Carlson talking about Israel and nodding my head in agreement?
It's like crazy.
It makes me feel absolutely batshit insane that I'm agreeing with some of these people.
Yeah, like, I don't think this is even necessarily questionable. I want to say Marjorie Taylor Greene has said that Gaza was a genocide, and Bernie Sanders has never used that word.
I think you're right.
No. Yeah, I believe that you're right as well. I don't think he's ever called it a genocide. And correct me if I'm wrong, has AOC ever actually called it a genocide?
Maybe a long time ago, but I'll have to do some more research into this. But I've recently read that it's not necessarily AIPAC money, but she receives quite a bit of money from people involved in the tech industry in Israel.
Okay.
Oh.
Right.
And it makes sense because of her rhetoric follows it. I mean, she's so it's not like she hasn't spoken out about Israel before, but in recent times, I'm talking like in the last year or so, maybe more, her language has been incredibly soft.
Interesting. I'll definitely have to dig into that. But she was a shocker. And in light of the going home of Charlie Kirk, obviously the white on white violence has been brought to the forefront as well. And I have now learned not only what a groiper is, but
Yeah.
which is a timeline I never wanted to be a part of, by the way. I never wanted to be in a timeline of groiper wars. But in finding that, I've also, I guess, watched some Nick Fuentes videos, and he's anti-Israel. And that came as a shock to me.
Wow.
So They're not just mind fucking each other; they're mind fucking the rest of us in the process. Because I am confusion at some of these people's takes on this because I find myself agreeing with them, and I hate that for us.
You know what I've started doing every time I hear an opinion I agree with from someone like that? I just go off, queen, and move on with my day because I know they're not where we are, where folks like us are. But like, kudos to them for having that opinion and expressing it. And I'm just going to move on. And if they say something else and slowly move to the left, all right, whatever. Good for you guys. But you were a heinous asshole. But
yeah,
not going to disagree on that one, that other thing.
It's very much a two things can be true situation. You can be an absolutely piece of shit human being and still be right a couple of times. And that's what I think that's what we're looking at here with some of these people.
Yeah. Like going to number 8 is all about Antifa. The enemy's both strong and weak, because I constantly see that with the right. It's so funny. They'll talk about Antifa and they'll be like, oh, they're a bunch of weak soy boys. They don't know how to do anything. They don't know how to organize. But also simultaneously, they're this fucking left-wing organized militant group that can threaten your life at any point. Like, which one is it?
No, which one is it? Like, I thought we were snowflakes.
Right.
And like transgendered people are causing all of this harm and violence. Like, we don't want them in our military. We're terrified of them in the bathroom. Like, but at the same time, like you said, like, we're snowflakes, we're soy boys, like, we're this like eclectic group of losers to them that just kind of like all like group together to come up against the right wing. But then at the same time, they reap fear at every single turn. Like, we have to do this because we have to defeat the radical left. Like, I thought we were weak. Like, I thought we were like we thought we were just threw cans of soup. Like, what are you organizing against exactly?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I have to say, I won't say where I live in California, but I live in a really conservative area. And I recently moved there. And they're all like that. But I have not seen a single transgender or met a single transgender person since I've lived there. And I'm like, where's the enemy, guys? Like, where is this elusive enemy and scary left-wing people? Because as far as I know, I'm the only one here, and I haven't told you where I stand on anything yet because shit is scary.
Well, yeah, no, actually, and I think a lot of it with them is we know that it's fear based, right? We know that a lot of this is solely based on fear. But half of these people have never met a transgendered individual. Like, they're terrified at the ideology. They're terrified at what they've being shown without actually having to experience anything to suggest otherwise.
I always wonder, like, how many of these folks have met a transgender person and not realized it?
Maybe on Grindr, where a lot of them are, but I guess that's a whole nother topic. There's a whole nother show.
Like, at large in everyday life, because I'm sure they have met.
Oh, I'm sure of it. And there was no like immediate fear struck into their hearts at that moment. So like, you lived through your experience of meeting a trans person and you didn't even know it.
I'm going to show a video that is from, I want to say it's a New York Times writer, but he's actually pretty good for belonging to mainstream media, Jamel Bowie, on Democratic politicians who cannot recognize and acknowledge what's happening in the US. Because one of the things that liberals love to do, and you've probably heard this saying before, Steph, is the road to fascism is paved by people who tell you that you're overreacting.
Mm-hmm.
And so libs love to do that. And they're saying, oh, this is just a distraction in DC and in Chicago and in Memphis. But it's fucking not. It's not just a distraction. It's serious and it needs to be taken seriously.
Yeah, this is the actual implementation of fascism.
Right. Okay, so I'm going to show this video now. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay.
From my perspective, The story of American politics right now is that the president, who fashions himself a kind of king of America, is attempting to barricade himself in the Capitol by unleashing a military occupation on its residents. And he's promised to extend this military occupation to other cities and other states that he views as political opponents. That to me is the big story of American politics right now. A mad king openly exerting tyrannical power over Americans and threatening further tyrannical power against other Americans, all under a pretext of crime reduction. I think that this is a thing that Democratic politicians should talk about and focus on, in part because what polling we have suggests that Americans don't like it. But more importantly than polling, it's the right thing to do. The president is engaged in a terrible arrogation of power. He is abusing fundamental rights. This is the kind of thing that George Washington would have shot a dude over.
Well, fuck George Washington, but the rest of that is true.
Yeah, fuck that guy, hononestly, but we get it. Like, the point has been made.
Slave-owning white supremacist fucking asshole. But but yeah, seriously, like it's not a joke.
No, it's not. And unfortunately, most liberals are white people who have refused to address their own whiteness, which leads to very, very harmful viewpoints and separation of, I guess, for lack of a better term, like blue party. Even though I wouldn't consider myself a part of that, it's kind of like us versus them right now. So we've been divided into two different groups. But liberalism is just as much of a disease as MAGA. I mean, they split the party like you said, Jordan. Just even alluding to the fact that this is all a distraction, it's not. The occupation of DC was very intentional. Like where they started these raids and these occupations were extremely intentional.
Oh yeah. So this is actually specifically about DC here. I read this in an article from The Nation. Thought this was well written. You can still hear me, right?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. I had the weak signal come up, so I just wanted to make sure. It says DC is the perfect testing ground for a coup because it doesn't have statehood and only limited home rule. As longtime DC civil rights leader, the Reverend Graylin Hagler told me, we were already occupied by law enforcement, making DC one of the most police-occupied cities in the country, with Capitol Police, Park Police, Transportation Police, the FBI, the DEA, and the list goes on, and many of these agencies additionally having separate police departments of their own. Only the MPD, which is the Metropolitan Police Department, was under local control, and that no longer exists. With the National Guard on the streets and all local empowerment gone, we are a city and people living under martial law. This is the end result. A federal tyrant running the city without any accountability, banners hang from overpasses now with a tweak on the longtime slogan of both 1776 and the DC statehood movement. No occupation without representation. And this occupation involves checkpoints, ICE raids, the terrorizing of unhoused people, and Washington Post interactive neighborhood maps so you can watch the seizure of the nation's capital from the comfort of your own couch. National Democrats and centrists have never taken DC's statehood movement seriously, and the price for that will be paid well beyond the district's borders. And that's completely correct.
Absolutely. Not one thing I disagree with.
And I've thought about this a long time, but I've never read something about DC that was articulated quite that well. And it's so true. Like the U.S., of course, at large is one giant police state. But if you examine it under a magnifying glass or a microscope, DC really does stand out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. As somebody who, protested very heavily at one point, the amount of different police agencies and forces was abundantly obvious. I mean, we all knew, like, especially people who grew up in the area, like there's always been a heavy police presence. I think there's something like 17 to 20 something different police forces in DC, and DC is only like 68 square miles.
Yeah.
To say it's over policed it's huge overstatement. And again, like the occupation of DC was very strategic. Like they don't have statehood to protect them. It's the nation's capital. It's the Eagles and American flag chest beating demographic that's probably widely put off by the fact that DC is also known as Chocolate City. And white supremacy is sickened by their capital city being overrun by anything other than feral white animals that climb the walls of government buildings and shit on desks. The fact that Donald Trump now occupies the White House again, I hate to see we all saw it coming, but we did. That's exactly what we were trying to prevent in 2020.
Right. And this is the inevitable outcome of what happens when you have a tyrannical government that doesn't give a shit about citizens. Because, like, look at Brazil, for example. In Brazil, they just sentenced Bolsonaro to 27 years in prison. Meanwhile, Donald Trump leads a coup on live TV and gets to be fucking president for a second term.
34-time felon, and that's just the ones that we know about.
Right.
What? 34 felonies.
So, back when I was a lib, like 2017, 2018, and I was actually pretty interested in the Russia investigation. I remember thinking at the time, like, dude, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Like, these are just the things that are coming out now. Imagine all kinds of crazy shit that was uncovered about, like, stuff that Trump was doing in Moscow in the 70s and 80s.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. I forget sometimes that he existed before 2020. And then I remember that he's always been a horrible human being.
Yeah.
Like there has never been one good Trump era.
No. And there has not. You can go back any decade that he's been alive and you can find some horrific thing that he's said or done.
He's a horrible person.
Even when he claimed to be a Democrat. Like he wasn't any better. Like he didn't even have a smile on his face like Democrats do.
No.
Yeah, he didn't even pretend to be for the people when he was a self-proclaimed Democrat.
Yeah,
I mean, Democrats are also horrible people, but
they
didn't even
are.
fake the funk like most of them do. Like at least, Kamala did a little song and dance.
Right. Yeah. He's not. He was never the kinder, gentler.
No, and his followers are I hate to say anything that makes it sound like I'm excusing their behavior because there's nothing that excuses their behavior. But I guess really to speak to number 11 of our 14-point list here, he relies on being a bully and bullying uneducated, stupid individuals that believe that this type of nationalism is the way to go. And it's how he has risen to the place that he has risen now.
He's stupidity.
Yeah, and he's stupid enough to be the mouthpiece for this machine that he's running, because we all know that it's not really him. He's right. Just the focal point of all of it. But it's also how they bring in so many. I mean, the educational factors alone, in combination with painting everybody else as the enemy, fear of difference, number 5, disagreement is treason, number 4. I mean, they literally all are interwoven into one another, into this big fascist braid that's affected everybody. I feel like I've gone a little bit off topic here, but hopefully you grasp what I'm trying to say here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally. And then most recently, they changed the name of the Department of Defense to Department of War.
Beach fest.
And the yeah, right. Which the name change alone, and this is fucking no pun intended, but this is Trump change for the Pentagon. $1 billion to change the name from Department of Defense to Department of War. Just that costs $1 billion.
Well, we have to put it in gold-plated letters. Like it has to be ceremonial. Everything has to be some big ceremony and some big fucking deal.
It has to be big and beautiful.
Big, beautiful Department of War. beach chest. Like,
We'll announce it in our $200 million ballroom.
Oh, nice. Or like the outside Panera Bread patio seating that they paved over the Rose Garden for.
Oh, my heart.
Oh yeah,
That was awful.
It looks like a food court. That is a food court.
As a former lib, that broke my heart. The Rose Garden.
You guys
The
know
Rose Garden hurt.
It did hurt.
plants are just for leftists.
Oh my God.
Plants are for leftists.
Maybe that's why I care so much about it.
There's a metaphor there about growth and change, but I can't find it. But it's there. It's there somewhere.
But the idea of ripping up like decades old roses that have like, you know, significant historical, you know, presence is like really heartbreaking.
Well, and
roses, like, how could you? Why?
This is just like extensive back to like this like 1950s mindset too, right? Where like 1960s, where people are experimenting with psychedelics, and then the older generation's like, "Oh no, you need to be taking pills." you need to
I'm
go
taking the things that pills grow up to be.
Yeah, you need to go to church. You stop picking mushrooms.
Oh yes, it's clearly church that I need. Like that's clearly the answer here, because all of the Christians, at least like the very vocal Christians these days, are such amazing people.
Yeah,
like the best of the best.
It's not like I frequently read that it's always MAGA that is sexually abusing children or anything.
No, it's not like they're always in the headlines, like for the youth pastors and the baseball coaches that are, you know, touching small children who trust them.
Oh my God, it's so horrible.
It's really horrible. And those predators get into churches and leagues like that because they know that children aren't going to trust them.
It's horrific. It's actually horrific. And the hypocrisy of just being the party that cares about children. Again, we could probably have this part of the discussion for hours. Just because like it's so hypocritical and it's so harmful and it's so hard for the rest of us to watch because we see what's happening to these kids. It's just a whole cycle of abuse. Again, this is a whole nother topic, but they start a cycle of abuse and predatory behaviors, and they keep it in the community, and it just grows and evolves into something horrible. And then they defend it with their lives. Like, I can't have an abortion if it's going to kill me, but you can molest kids for 20 years of being a pastor, and that's okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
The hypocrisy, the double
standard. The hypocrisy. And I can't wrap my head around why or how they have gotten their base to go along with this. Like, I think all of us kind of held our breath a little bit. Like, none of us have faith in MAGA, but I think some of us were at least thinking, okay, like, this has got to be it. Like, surely this is it, right? It wasn't. It's just the envelope is never pushed far enough for them to be vocal and to vocally speak out about it. And I guess that takes us right back to number 4 again. You know, disagreement is treason, no matter what the cost.
Yeah, and this is also just symbolic of the Democratic Party and its failures for decades. There's zero opposition. There's no party that represents working class people and poor people for sure. Like, there's nothing close to that. We have two parties that are just constantly arm wrestling for billionaires.
Absolutely. And anytime a candidate that actually does represent the working party, it throws everybody into chaos. You know, Democrats go just as hard to shut those people down. I mean, New York is a prime example.
Yeah, Zoran.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that man is for the people. He wants to help people be able to afford to live and survive. And the Democratic Party is like, oh my God, no, like, not survival, like, not food.
Right. And it's one thing to oppose somebody that stands for working people. It's another one to actively support somebody that shits on that, and is not just shitting on that, is actually a dangerous fucking predator. If we're talking about Andrew Cuomo.
Right, in case nobody picked that up for us.
Yeah, and then don't even get me started on Eric Adams.
Oh my God. What a corrupt piece of shit. Like,
yeah, and I kind of was talking to Leslie about this a little bit, but if I was a New Yorker, even if I was my age now, let alone if I was older, I would despise Trump even more than I do now, which is really saying something. But fuck, they hate Trump in New York City for so many correct reasons because it's just been so long.
well, yeah, he's committed heinous crimes and act of violence against the citizens and the residents of New York City for years now.
Right.
I mean, years and years and years of racial violence in the form of, housing oppression, Central Park. I mean, it goes on and on. And he took that violence that he was committing on the people of New York and has now taken it to a national and even worldwide scale at this point. So New Yorkers have every right to be a little bit more upset than the rest of us.
Yeah, and that's just how imperialism works too.
Suffering the repercussions of his since what, the 80s, 70s?
Yeah, going back to the 70s.
Yeah, going back to the 70s now. So,
and
this man is like a snowball. He's like a fascist snowball. Like he just keeps getting bigger and like collecting more snow. Like it's actually scary at this point how big the snowball is.
Rounding up brown shirts and
yeah.
That I was thinking, God, that man's probably done so much coke since New York in the 70s. And then he called him a snowball, and I was like, yep, perfect.
A fascist cocaine snowball.
With malignant narcissistic personality disorder.
Double line beats chest. Like,
what a great combination.
Oh my gosh. I don't know, like an image of Pete Hegseth just came to mind as well. Like he would love a fascist cocaine snowball.
Oh my God, Pete Hegseth. He's like somebody you would create like for an animated TV show.
He's like Homelander.
Yeah.
He's like somebody like on Celebrity Deathmatch or something.
I forgot all about that. He really is like the physical embodiment of all the horrible things about America, like built into one man.
Yeah, he's like a South Park character. Like you would write somebody just like that. Like, oh yes. Yeah, somebody that's alcoholic, somebody that's Secretary of Defense, doesn't know anything about the soldiers or has never read a book.
He is a caricature of like idiocy and white supremacy and cocaine.
Yeah, all of it.
Like all of those things combined make Pete Hegseth. I struggle with it every single time, and I've no longer care to get his name right because, like, fuck that guy.
Yeah. Can't even do a decent pull up either.
Yeah. So I want to slightly switch topics here and just talk about the whole narrative about the military occupying cities. So mainstream media, of course, believes in the role of the state. So they're always going to say, they're always going to apply logic, right? Oh, well, crime is going down in all these cities, so there's really no need for the National Guard. And I'm like, your statistics are irrelevant. I don't care if I was in the middle of MS-13 24/7. There's no legitimate reason for the fucking U.S. military or ICE or any of these agencies that belong to the state to ever occupy U.S. cities.
In complete agreement. They took the National Guard away from victims of a flood to garden in DC.
Yeah.
Like Trump boasted about like, I love grass. I own golf courses. Like you paved over the Rose Garden and now you got the National Guard here, like picking up trash and doing gardening when they could actually be helping people, which is what I would like to believe that most of them would want to do.
Yeah, that's typically what they would want to do too. Yeah.
Like I like to believe that most of them are disgusted by this. But outside of the National Guard, like Jordan said, like now we have unleashed like actual military against the people of the United States, and nobody's doing anything about it.
Mm-mm. And that's kind of where I wanted to go with the conversation now, is looking to the rest of the world, looking towards, people like yourself that are doing individual action, that are organizing with other groups of people. What are the solutions in place? What can people do to resist this tyranny?
It sounds so cliche. Like on a community level, it's very important that we know our community members.
Mm-hmm.
No matter where you live, right? So where Leslie is, she said there's a lot of pretty much a red area where she is, and it's just as important for you to know your community members when they're vulnerable as it is to know them when they're dangerous.
Yep.
So knowing your community is widely important. Mutual aid is going to become even bigger and more important than it ever was, because as we continue to see social programs stripped away, Meals on Wheels taken away from seniors, wages aren't going up, rent's going up, people are going to need support, and they're not going to be able to get it from the government. Following the values of the Black Panther Party, we are going to have to embody those values more than we ever have, to the point of probably a little bit of discomfort, because we are going to have to take care of each other in ways that we have never had to take care of each other before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we've long been to this point, but especially now, where people can, physically, mentally, etc., cannot afford to continue to live in isolation and not socialize with their neighbors and figure out what other people's needs are, and how their needs could be better suited as well.
Yeah, I mean, I live in an area temporarily right now, but I've always grown up in amidst a large Hispanic population. Where I am now is no different. But I keep an extra eye on them now. You know what I mean? Like, introduce yourself to your neighbors, especially your neighbors that are vulnerable. Let them know that you're a safe space for them, because you never know when they might need a safe space.
Yeah.
We're watching people just get plucked off and rounded up and disappeared, and they leave families behind and they leave pets behind. And I'd like to think that providing more safe spaces and providing more networks of safe spaces may combat that just a little bit, at least for some of the people that are left behind, for the kids, for the family members. And outside of mutual aid, because now I feel like I'm a soft snowflake, as they paint us out to be, I think it's also important at this time for anybody who is able, learn how to shoot. Learn how to defend yourself.
Yeah.
If you're not comfortable with a firearm, learn how to defend yourself and your neighbors. De-arrests can be wildly successful when people know what they're doing. And as scary of a thought as it is, and as overwhelmed as so many of us are, investing in yourself and learning how to take care of yourself and your household and your neighbors is just as important as making sure people are fed.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we've watched communities of people bully ICE out of their neighborhoods. They can be bullied out of here.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's so great. It is almost porn. Every time I watch it, I'm like, oh my God, it's so great. I love that so much. Like,
it is great.
It's so great.
Saw a clip the other day of this old man lighting off fireworks.
Oh, I sent that to you today.
Yeah.
This morning, I think. Yeah.
Love it.
He lit off fireworks and threw them in ICE's direction.
Yes.
I
love it.
And like, where do we go with this whole political violence is never the answer? Because every single thing that exists as a means of oppression is violence.
I mean, everything that we've ever experienced in this country. Everything that was built in this country was built on violence.
Yeah, I think
So
just
for them
people is so
to
important.
yeah, I mean, like now y'all don't like violence because we saw somebody catch a hot one, an influencer who is not even a politician catch a hot one from one of his own. Now violence is frowned upon.
Yeah.
Or
But you're
even going back further in time with Luigi. Like, really, we're gonna be fucking defending healthcare CEOs? You know how many people those people have killed?
no, seriously, like after they started releasing the statistics and everything else, I'm like, I'm side-eyeing people. Like, there's no way you can agree that what that man single-handedly did to so many people, like he's a killer, not Luigi, the healthcare CEO. Like that man is a murderer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Under any other circumstances, most people would be able to justify, okay, well, he was a bad person. Like maybe murder's not great, but like he was a bad person. But because he wore a suit and because Luigi had leftist values, sometimes, I might say sometimes, this is like some big horrible thing. Like, no, that man probably like denied your cancer treatment of your neighbor or somebody. Like,
yeah, your grandmother.
This is violence. Taking away school lunches from children is
It's violence.
harassing Black or paperwork is violence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why can't we be violent?
Right. We're it's just like it's such a stupid, ignorant, liberal mindset to think that we can all just hold hands and sing around in a circle and everything's kumbaya. Like, that's not how the fucking world works. I mean, that would be great. I would love for everybody to be able to do that, but that's not where we're at.
It's okay for me. It's not okay for thee.
Yeah, and how dare you question it too?
Yeah.
I mean, after all, you're in the richest country in the world. They'll gaslight you. They'll be like, "Oh, well, you could be in sub-Saharan Africa." As it makes me so mad how condescending they are when talking about material conditions.
The state is like a horrible boomer parent.
Oh God, yes.
And the people are just the victim children at this point.
Yeah.
Trying to fight back, and when we do, oh no, violence isn't the answer. You shouldn't hit. You shouldn't do that. But then they turn around and swat you.
You know what? Yeah, I think we should just keep calling our senators.
That's enough. That should be enough. That'll fix it.
Just ask nicely.
Yeah.
Don't ruffle any feathers. Just keep towing the line.
Honestly, if the people that really believe that want to make a difference, they should pivot and community build and get to know their neighbors more, because leave the people that want to do the violence to doing the violence. Stop policing and turn to your neighbors and care for them.
Yeah.
And if you're really good at it, maybe you'll beat the violent people to the punch. Let's just try and direct those folks that way.
Right. And this goes back, what you're saying, Leslie, goes back to a point that I make frequently on the podcast, which is, you don't have to be violent. Matter of fact, ideally don't be.
Yeah.
Just do anything to be disruptive. Do anything to help other people, especially people that are historically oppressed and marginalized. But there's a role in the revolution for everyone.
There is, absolutely. There's a place for everyone here.
Like, you could go hand out flyers, or you could record a podcast like we're doing right now. Doesn't have to be all throwing bricks through Starbucks. Not that that's not cool, but there's other shit you can do.
You shouldn't destroy corporate property, Jordan.
You're right. That's not a nice thing to do.
Not a nice thing to do.
Where are people going to get their $7 coffee from?
Real in the process, like it's a 2-for-1.
Yeah. I'm just, so as depressing as everything is, I'm in a weird way, I'm kind of excited about where things are at, because I think all that people can do from here with political violence that we have established in our country, We have people clearly around the world rallying over commonalities, whether it's people having their safety nets destroyed, cost of living continues to go up, or the opposite, where politicians in individual countries are having their salaries increase and their safety nets go up while other people lose theirs. That's certainly the case with Indonesia. And go back a couple of years with France, people rioting in Paris over them raising the retirement age by a couple of years. Like, you don't see stuff like that in the US for a number of reasons. Could be because people are so busy at work. Could be because we've got rampant propaganda and people still somehow believe that we have the best standard of living, as laughable as that is. But for whatever reason, we don't see a level of solidarity and mobilization that we see in other states abroad. I think people are going to continue to move further and further left, though. Call me delusional.
You might be right. I think whether or not they're forced there or thrown there by the fascist state, or if they just make their way over because they meet their next door neighbor and like their next door neighbor and slowly find out that they're a leftist. Say, well, they're not so bad.
Yeah.
They like actually give a shit about me.
Right.
Wow, okay.
And honestly, I could see scenarios where the National Guard goes into cities and actually talks to people and they refuse to enact certain orders.
Yeah, if you get the right ones.
Especially
if you get the right ones, that could happen.
Especially if the National Guard has lived in that community.
Yeah.
For a long time.
Or if they're a older veteran.
Yeah.
I'm talking like in their 40s.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is a waste of time.
I can
tell you, the guys that are older that have seen other countries in war zones think this is a waste of time.
Yeah.
They would much rather be helping flood victims.
My God, I know.
And fire service and all kinds of things to help their community, not police their community. That's not what they're trained to do. They're not trained to police the community.
We cannot hear you. Yeah, it's just like a fascist wet dream, really.
Yeah, what's going on right now?
I just want to see soldiers in U.S. cities. That makes me feel good. That shows that I'm a strong leader.
Well, I think
such small dick energy.
Well, they don't. A lot of right wingers don't realize that they all think that law enforcement would never turn on the people. I have a good friend of mine that I've known for a long time who's a cop by training, who is now an anarchist. A few years ago, I asked him about this. Like, the cops will turn. I said, the cops will not, turn on the state. They will always be against the people. And he's like, no, they won't do that. And I'm like, I don't think you're right, dude. Like, he's like, no, the cops won't turn on the people. And I haven't had a chance to ask him about things that are going on recently, but I feel like he would change his tune a little bit about what's going on, like seeing what's happening.
Could be, because I've even had conversations with people around my parents' age that are developing views that I never would have thought that they would develop.
Yeah.
Like using words like police state.
Yeah.
Using words like developing country. It's crazy. Like I didn't think I would see that, but it's where we're at with the continual deterioration of material conditions. Steph, can you hear us? Oh, she's gonna rejoin. Okay, I think she was having some internet issues. But yeah, where do we go from here?
I don't know. We don't really have a whole lot of control because a lot of leftists don't have the ability to organize because they're either not thinking that way or they're too busy working because the only way to survive, they have us right where they want us.
Right, and that's the hilarious idea of the right's notion of the left.
Right.
That we're all super organized and militant.
When are we doing this?
Like, fuck, have you even been in a leftist group chat?
No, we're all neurodivergent.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we get so little accomplished, but we are so passionate.
It's true. That's why I always revert back to and go back to, like, just get to know and take care of your neighbor. Because if everybody does that, then okay, that's like a significant chunk of work that's being done.
I agree. I agree. I worked with a girl and we actually became really good friends. And she was a Trumper. And everybody that knows me is like, I don't even know how you're friends with that girl. Because she was literally the embodiment of ignorance. Like, she grew up in upstate New York. Like, she is ignorance at its core, to the point where, like, and again, I said sound like I'm excusing any of this, but in getting to know her, I realized that, like, she was so sheltered and she was really in a bubble until she moved to Maryland.
Yes.
And, like, I met her, and I want to say 2021. And, you know, she didn't understand why we had to use pronouns. She thought it was stupid. And she didn't understand why we were being mandated to have vaccines. And we really got to know each other. And I think because she really liked me so much, she was open to listening. And at one point, I even heard her telling a coworker, why are you surprised that a lot of Black people don't want to get the COVID vaccine? They've been experimented on before. And I almost fell on the floor. I was so proud. I felt like a proud mom, right? Like, I did it. I changed one. Do you know that bitch went and voted for Trump again? Collective. I was so disappointed. And I'm like, I can't continue to be your friend. Like, first time around, you were a dumbass. You were open to it. But they get around each other, and it's really this hive mentality. So she gets back around her parents and her aunt and, like, all her little, like, you know, other sheltered white friends. And those ideologies that she's embraced for so long come right back.
Yeah.
And to me, to do it twice is, like, unforgivable. I was already making a stretch out of my comfort to try and educate you because I felt like you were redeemable, because I try to hold the belief that most people are redeemable. She disappointed me so bad. She messaged me on Instagram recently and made a comment about how she regretted her vote. And I had to ask her, like, what was the breaking point for you? Do you know what she said?
What?
She said it was Donald Trump photoshopping himself into the Pope's outfit.
Oh my God.
So, like, that's not the violent oppression of the country, not taking away benefits from people, not, like, releasing the military onto your own people, not blowing up ships and saying that you're blowing up cartel members. It was the Pope thing. Like, all right, girl, that's the last conversation I'm gonna have with you. I don't know if she's, like, a church-going Catholic. I know that, like, she believes in God, and I'm sure she prays, but I don't think she ever went to church.
Okay.
She never discussed it with me. So as much as I would love to blame the Catholic Church on something else, I don't think that's what did it.
No, I was gonna say if she was, like, Catholic, because I grew up Catholic, and when I saw that, I was like, "Fuck this guy."
No, but how dare you put on that big white hat?
I feel that way about everything he does, but that one, I, like, honed in on that one. I was like, "That's fucking awful," and a lot of people are gonna hate that. And sure enough, they did.
Yeah, honestly, she hated it. But
I don't care what it is that gets people away and off of Donald Trump. It's a win.
Listen, I feel the same way.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't be friends with him, but, like, all right, good for you, buddy.
Hey, well, it kind of like brings us first full circle, because you think about people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Tucker Carlson, who are horrendous people, but they are breaking down that foundation of MAGA little by little because they're taking people with them.
Yeah, it's a little bit of, they're a little bit of a bridge. This
Yep.
like really, really wonky, unstable bridge, but it's a bridge and it's better than
But it's a
nothing.
bridge.
It's better than the
Yeah.
alligators below.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they're the textbook definition of selective populism.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Which and the funniest Democratic politicians to me, or maybe funny is not the right word, but
It's probably funny.
is they just do whatever's politically expedient and it's obvious. So like any take that's becomes mainstream popular, they all of a sudden adopt that position. So notably, I think of Obama. He was against gay marriage up until 2013, and
I
then
forgot about that. Yeah,
and
he
then
was.
it became popular to be pro gay marriage, and so he adopted that position, and that's the epitome of an establishment Dem. They
Absolutely.
will take a position wherever the fucking wind takes them.
Mm-hmm.
First thing that came to mind was Juneteenth with Nancy Pelosi and them and their dashikis. Like,
Oh no!
I think I popped my first wrinkle on that day that I saw that photo.
Did you say your first wrinkle?
Yep, I think that was the first one I ever got. I was just, I don't even know what the word is. I feel like I have a pretty good vocabulary, and I cannot even find a word that truly embodies the way that I felt seeing that picture.
Repulsed?
Repulsed is good.
It might not be
Repulsed
quite
is
what you're
good.
looking for, but it's close, I think.
It's pretty damn close.
Definitely.
But I was just like, oh my God. I don't know that I've ever had secondhand embarrassment for people I did not know so bad in my life.
Oh,
Like, Democrats are so fucking embarrassing.
yeah. That image of her kneeling is forever burned in my brain, unfortunately.
Like, sorry. Every time I think about it, I chuckle and chuckle away.
So bad.
So bad. We depend on these people. That's the scariest part. Like, are these your saviors? Like, is this your king?
Tic-tac-toe.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like not to sound ageist, but if you took the majority of people that lead us and you put them into different professions, they would not last a day. Like I couldn't.
No.
The job that I have right now, I couldn't just show up and not know where I am and just keep collecting checks.
And fall asleep in meetings?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just start talking out of my ass.
I mean, at this point, we really need to start discussing, like this is elder abuse.
Yes.
Allowing this.
That's how we need
It
to
is
combat the
elder
argument.
abuse.
Like, yeah, no.
They need to like if you spin it and say these people have worked so hard, they deserve to retire.
Right.
I like that. I like that.
This is elder abuse at this point.
Yes.
They do not belong going to work every day. And
Like, why are we doing
no, they
this
don't go
to
to work
them?
every day, but they shouldn't be doing such high profile important shit. They're 90.
So
No,
yeah, I mean,
seriously.
I don't think it should be controversial that people that write the laws should not have Alzheimer's prescriptions.
Right.
Yeah, like cognitive decline should
Not
absolutely be a no-go
Yeah.
when you have an entire country's worth of people in your hands.
oh my God.
Like, did you shit? You just shit yourself and you're signing a bill.
Yep.
Like, you gotta be kidding me.
These boomers are really self-important.
They're horrible.
Yeah. Like I know better than everyone. So I'm just going to keep being here. I'm going to keep working until I
No, seriously. Right, because that's the American way. I mean, how else do you think I was able to afford my, 4-bedroom home for 4 shekels and 2 blueberries?
and a bag of peanuts.
And a bag of peanuts,
Well,
for the interest.
And you obviously aren't eating avocado toast.
Right.
No, clearly they're not eating avocado toast or iced coffees.
That's
Because
the
if we
key
could all
thing.
stop doing that, we could afford housing.
Totally. Totally.
It's that damn avocado toast.
Just work a little harder. Just go down to whatever place you want to work with your resume in your hand, and they'll just give you a job.
They'll just hand you a job. Like, please never mind the fact that for the first time since April of 2021, there are less jobs than there are unemployed people. Now you guys can just fight to the death in front of buildings, and whoever wins gets the job.
Oh my God.
We're not far from that.
No, we're really not far from that. They've already teased. Listen, I thought this was satire, as I think most things are, but like the White House already teased, I think, having some type of television show where they have immigrants. Like,
I have heard this. Yes, please go on. I've heard about this.
What is it?
Information, but everything. I think Pam Bondi, or one of those horrible people, had floated the idea of a reality TV show, and if like featuring immigrants, and if the immigrant like wins, they win citizenship.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
that's
about that.
that's Squid Game.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Except this time you just get to be a citizen of the most horrible, of the bad place. Like, you win a spot in the bad place.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm trying to look it up now.
Honestly, we could probably do a whole separate podcast on the job market and the need for a resurgence in trade.
Yeah, that's kind of what I like about podcasts. When you're talking about certain episodes, you go down rabbit holes and you start thinking about, oh, I could talk about this. I could do a whole episode about that.
Yeah.
Especially when you've had 2 cups of coffee.
And there's literally no end to these conversations right now, because they've given us so much nightmare fuel that we have gas to go on for ages. Like, this podcast could easily be 8.5 hours long and we still wouldn't be done.
I know. If you ever join one of our panels, which I've been doing panels for years now, sometimes those go 3.5, 4 hours.
I can see it though. There's so much to talk about.
There's so much to talk about.
On just like one or two topics, and then umbrella, because everything's intersectional, everything's related, and that's
there's
for
so
me
many layers.
For me, that's such an integral part of radicalizing people. Once people can connect the dots and figure out that oppression is interlinked.
Yeah. I was telling you I was worried about being like going off topic. And you said to me, like, everything's connected. They're like basically telling you there is no way to go off topic because it's all so intertwined.
Right. Like, if you're a person that was relatively apolitical, but then something happened to your family with ICE, you're immediately going to be radicalized by that. And then maybe that person starts doing further research on agencies that ICE is connected to, realizes they're connected to the IDF, then starts learning about Palestine, then starts learning about imperialism, then colonialism, and boom, you got a leftist.
And boom, you have a leftist.
That's got to be happening every day by thousands, if not millions, of examples.
Leftist is such a dirty word now.
I know, but I'm intentionally
to realize that. So
I'm intentionally being ambiguous with the term.
Oh, totally. I'm sure there's leftists that still think they're on the right, but like if you sit down and look at their ideology, like, I don't know. Do you really belong there?
Yeah, again, like, I hate that I have said this name like twice now, but like Nick Fuentes is one of those anomalies that just confuses the fuck out of me. Because I'll listen to him speak and I'm like, this dude's such a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But he's embracing a lot of leftist ideologies. If you really think about it, it doesn't make him a good person. It doesn't make his followers a good person. Everything he says comes with, a twist of racism attached to it. But even a broken clock is right 2 times a day.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's gonna be not nice people on the left. As long as there are people, as long as there
personalities
are people here
exist.
And personalities exist, there are going to be bad people. They may not necessarily be bad actors, but they're not going to be somebody you want to be around a lot.
Yeah.
Running
across a couple of those, but we got to learn how to work together. Like, it's all like, we got to unite for the cause type thing. But absolutely, there's some shitty leftist people.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, think about work, right? you could unionize your workplace and still have people that are like, I wouldn't go out for drinks with that person.
Yeah, but I'll fight for their living wage.
Right.
Our
Absolutely.
living wage.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
I think that's just what a lot of people miss. Is just there's just like a core fundamental system of basic needs that every single person deserves to have.
Yeah.
And for some reason, that's a radical belief. And I can't wrap my head around it.
I mean, I think cancel culture has a little bit to do with it. Like people don't want to, like, well, I don't want to fight for this for that person because that person's a piece of shit. But there's more good people than there are pieces of shit, I like to think anyway.
Rampant individualism.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah,
and like America is built on that ideology as well, though. Like, we are not founded on principles of community.
Mm-mm.
No, and capitalism as a whole thrives in isolation.
It does.
Like, it looks like we're this. Like, this is what, like, you have to take care of your family and your household and protect yourself, and that's ingrained into us from a very young age here.
Right, and then it's also more insidious than just that too, because it's instilled in you from a very young age that if some other person is doing well, that means you're losing something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if we could get more people that think more right wing to understand that we're fighting for everyone and not just ourselves, I think that's a massive barrier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. Because I mean, you listen to them and it's always fear that someone else is taking something away from them. You know, these people are taking our jobs. These people are committing crime and stealing from this. Because these people exist, we're not able to have this. So it's always that mindset with them that someone is taking away something from them. And I forget who the quote is by. I'm sure, you've heard it, but something along the lines of equality feels like oppression to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys ever heard the term capitalistic fatalism?
I have not.
That means people believe that, like, they cannot conceive a world beyond capitalism. It doesn't make any sense to them.
What's the term again?
Capitalistic fatalism.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So that means
I heard somebody
capitalism,
that say, like, it's the best system we have.
Yeah.
I remember that. You were there for that.
Yep.
Yeah. There's someone you really care about dearly, too. And it was like, oh, no. It's like,
how disappointing. So sad.
It's so disappointing.
But yeah, I mean, there's a large segment of the population that cannot see beyond our current capitalist system. And that's a big problem.
I think for a lot of people, it's too painful to see beyond that. Because they focus on the journey to get there, which we're already on that journey.
It could be. I have a slightly different take. I think some people are just not as imaginative and utopian.
That's a good point, too.
That's a good point. I think that also goes hand in hand with being indoctrinated.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you just think about the American education system and the things that we were taught about certain events. We are indoctrinated. We put our hands over our hearts and we pledge allegiance to an object. And we're told from the time they were born that, like, America's the greatest country on earth and this and that. Like, we are indoctrinated, and you have to actively work, or to your earlier point, you have to be radicalized to even begin to shift your value system elsewhere, unless you were born into a decent family, that gives you those values and beliefs from early on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The American dream is so romanticized to us as children growing up in the U.S.
I was actually just going to get to the deconstructing the myths about the U.S. element. I mean, I was just thinking specifically about the military, right? Mm-hmm. Like, we're told we have the most powerful military in the world, yet we supply Israel all their weapons and bombs. Hamas still exists. We lost in Vietnam, got our asses kicked in Iraq, got our asses kicked in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's bullshit.
It's almost like we've been fed propaganda.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's disappointing when you grow up and realize that like nothing is what you've been taught as a child, and it's work that people don't want to do.
This
Too.
deep, yeah, and it's obvious why too, because deprogramming can be devastating to the ego.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think a lot of these people in the MAGA cult have questions. They're just terrified to ask them or to even admit that they feel differently from the rest of the clan at this point.
Oh yeah, and this is obvious just from something that I came across today, and this won't be surprising to either one of you, but apparently MAGA consumes trans pornography at crazy high rates, and this is all about suppressing your identity.
Yeah. It's a lot of shame in that.
Yeah, this is growing up in probably hyper religious conservative households, and people are not allowed to be who they are.
Yeah, you have to fit this exact mold, or like you're completely ostracized by the only community that you know.
Yeah.
I mean, at least the Amish like let their kids go out and explore the world and decide what they want to do.
Yeah.
Right, and imagine
There's no right wing Rumspringa, is there?
Unfortunate.
Imagine how much better our world could be if people were just allowed to be themselves and had support from their community.
That sounds like you're a leftist or something.
That sounds super communist, huh?
That sounds very radical of you, actually.
Yeah,
the radical left at it again with the bullshit.
what was I? I'm gonna go back to work.
Oh, go back to work. Like, why are you even here on a Saturday?
Yeah.
And we're here just chit-chatting like there's not labor to be done.
No, I gotta go back into the office.
I have to go to my third job.
Oh.
Make America great.
You gotta monetize every single aspect of your life.
Everything.
That's one of the funniest questions that I've been asked over the years I've had my podcast. Like, how much money have you made on this? I'm like, none. I just do this for fun. I don't.
Serious hobbies.
I probably don't come across as somebody that would prescribe myself to a lot of corporate sponsorships and advertisements. So,
yeah. Completely unrelated, but kind of not unrelated. I saw an image today that showed McDonald's with their flags at half-mast, and I just so many things that I had to say and think about that I couldn't even land on one particular thing. But I was just like, I don't know how to feel about McDonald's flying their McDonald's flags at half-mast today.
That's an Onion article. Like that's something that you would just think of when you're trying to create a characterization of the U.S. in 2025. Like you have this assassination of a far right wing figure, and then you have McDonald's, which is the symbol of U.S. consumerism.
McDonald's they're like mini embassies, like mini U.S. embassies within U.S. borders. It's fucking weird.
No, seriously, like, oh, I guess when a clown dies, McDonald's puts its flags at half-mast.
But really, it's so hilarious. I used to drive by a McDonald's every day on my commute, and whenever the flag was at half-mast, I'd be like, why is it at half-mast today? And I'd be like Googling shit, and then I'd like text my husband going like, why are flags at McDonald's half-mast?
It means the ice cream machine is broken.
I would appreciate and respect that if they did that, because I don't want to go all the way in there if I can't get a fucking ice cream cone right now. Like,
yeah, seriously.
Therefore, I want a damn McFlurry. Sorry, the ice cream machine's broken. Why isn't the flag down, you asshole?
No, you fucking assholes didn't even put the flags at half-mast for us, so we know that the ice cream machine is yet again broken. America.
Well, do you have anything else you want to say about the military occupying cities or fascism or anything else related to that?
That's a loaded question, Jordan.
No, I have no further thoughts on that.
It's a loaded question. I'm sure I have lots more to say, but again, we could have this conversation for hours and hours.
Yes. And I will definitely have you back on.
I would love to come back on. I have enjoyed this. I was a little nervous. I haven't been on a podcast since like 2020. And again, ADD, I tend to wander off topic, but so do you guys. So this has been great.
Yeah, you can clearly see the ADHD manifesting.
Oh, I really love it. If we get 2 more people, they could be like infinity rings. I think we could like probably formulate something pretty amazing.
Just going on a journey together. It's great.
I love it. Well, I really appreciate this, and I appreciate what you're doing too. Just having these conversations is important. I mean, even if it's amongst your own community, you know, what better place to start having these conversations? You never know who's going to hear it. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for all that you do.
I wish I was doing more. But yeah, we're all kind of doing the best that we can right now, trying not to be so exhausted by current events that we can't move in the best interest of everybody, which is what they want from us. So just even just getting up and resisting that exhaustion, that like capitalism driven exhaustion, so that you can be your best for the people around you is an act of resistance all by itself.
Resting is an act of resistance.
Yeah, it really is. That's what I tell myself anyway. Like I get so hard on myself. I'm like, you have so much to do. You have job applications to fill out because you only have 5 jobs and you need 6 jobs. And I'm like, no, it's really okay to take a nap.
Yes.
Yeah, take care of yourselves as best you can, comrades.
You as well. Thank you again for having me. This was awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Do you have anything you want to plug before you go?
Yeah, so for anybody listening, if you're looking for an organization to support in this city, I would recommend the Free DC Project or Free Project DC and Harriet's Wildest Dreams. And there's also a court reporting agency that I can't think of the name of it, but I think they also go through Harriet's Wildest Dreams, which is an excellent resource. They're helping as many people as they can in the city. They're showing up at court hearings for people who have been arrested. They're doing jail support. So if you have a couple extra dollars or some time, I would definitely check them out.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you for that.
For sure. All right. You guys have an awesome rest of your day. Thank you again.
All right, you too. Take care.
Too. Bye.
Bye.
As always, the 805 Uncensored is on all the major podcasting and social media networks. If you have any questions, comments, guest suggestions, send us a DM or email us 805uncensored@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Free Palestine and the revolution is you. Bye, guys.